Right, hello folks, just going to show you how to set up this digital wildlife camera, the TC06 model. It's a generic model, there's no brand name to it. Amazon call it native digital wildlife camera, but there's no native written on the box in case you were looking for that as a brand. Unnamed, made in China wildlife camera, about £100 on Amazon in March 2023 in England. Quite a bit more on eBay and other places, so best price is that. Anyway, I've already shown you an unboxing video. See my other videos, just find that one. Now I'm going to show you how to actually set it up. Once you've already removed the plastic protective covers from the LED area and the lenses and the sensors, next thing you want to do is put in 8 AA batteries. I've gone for the Eneloop. Let's just take one out to show you. I go for, these are Panasonic Eneloop rechargeable batteries. Okay, there's a specific model number for you. They say they can be recharged up to about 2,100 times, which is brilliant. It's got 1,900 milliamp hours on these ones. I think there's a newer model with 2,000 milliamp hours, so slightly improved. Anyway, they give off 1.2 volts. You need 8 of them. And at the moment in England, best price I found for 12 Eneloop batteries is around about £24. So use that as your target price. Okay, so there you go. Put those in the correct way, obviously. Put the cover back on. Next, you're going to want to put your SD card in. I'll just take that out to show you what I'm using. It should be more than sufficient for recording 4K video footage. So this one has a read speed of 170 megabytes a second. You can see it's class 10, that 10 inside the circle there. And U3 is another thing you need to look for. So anyway, that's it. Sandisk Extreme Pro. I go for 64 gigabyte cards. I find that by the time 8 batteries are pretty much used up, you'll have also almost filled up a card. Obviously, it all depends on what you're filming. I get over 100 videos will fit onto one of these cards, and then some. But the point is, by the time you've got 100 videos, your 8 batteries are going to be almost dead and need to be recharged. So 64 gig cards should do the job, and depending on where you put it, I say places where I put in for wildlife, I end up with about 100 videos every, say, 4 or 5 days. Sometimes more, sometimes less. But anyway, so there you go. You've got the SD card in. Now, for the first time ever, I'm going to move the power switch from off to setup. Don't switch it all the way across to on. You don't want to do that. Just one little switch across, and then this screen should come to life. Hallelujah. Right, this is the first memory card error. So you want to format that. To do that, use these up and down buttons. So you want to go press the down button to get to format, and then press OK to format. You always have to format a card before you use it for the first time. There you go, that's done. Now, these batteries, even though I know they're at 100%, the camera is saying they're at 75%. That's because these are rechargeable batteries, not disposable batteries. And I've noticed there's a weird thing about all these trail cameras. They seem to I think it's because is it disposable batteries of 1.4 volts or something? Something to do with the voltage anyway. They detect that there's 75% battery when it's actually 100%, which can be quite confusing, obviously. Now, what I want to do is click on menu. Hopefully this works. It looks like the same layout as my previous cameras, which are by a model called Campark. And I have to say, the same size and shape of this camera, it's almost identical to a Campark branded one. So I presume these are all made in the same factory. It's just that they haven't branded this one as Campark. Anyway, so mode photo. No, I want to set this for video. So let's click on OK and see what happens. Here we go. So once I've clicked OK, I then got the option. So use the up and down buttons. As I said, that's up, that's down. I want video. I don't want photo and video. I just want photo, and then click on OK in the middle. So that's now set for video. And annoyingly, the menu's gone. So now I've got to do that again. So press menu again. Mode is now video. Right. Interval. This is how often you want a gap in between when it records something. So say you've just recorded a 1 minute long video. Say there was wildlife still moving around in front of the camera. Do you want it to immediately start recording again, or do you want to give it a gap? This is how you set that. So I'm going to press on OK. I think there's a minimum of something like 10 seconds. You need about 10 seconds for it to finish right in the last video. That's just, so hold the button down if you want it to go down quickly. It's quite hard for me to actually see those numbers on the screen because I've got light on it. Hold on. There we go. If I zoom in a bit, I can see it a bit better. Right, let's go down. Let's see what happens. Oh no, you can go even less. Oh wow, I didn't know that. Ah, hold on. So up. So there's a minimum gap of 5 seconds. Sometimes it's really annoying. Sometimes you're recording something brilliant and then the video ends, say the 1 minute long video ends, and you want to be recording immediately. So I think if there's stuff moving around in front of your camera, you might as well carry on recording it. So I'm going to leave it at the minimum setting of 5 seconds. So I'm going to click on OK. That's now done that. Now these sensors, how sensitive do you want it to be? If I click on OK, you've got high, medium or low. I nearly always put it on the high sensitive. I want to record as much stuff as possible. I can always delete the videos afterwards. But the problem with the high setting, you can end up catching like 1 second of a moth flying past, or 1 second of a mouse suddenly flying past. And sometimes, you know, say a branch moves and it triggers it. You can end up with a lot of waste videos, but I prefer the high settings. So I'm going to put it on high and then click on OK. Time lapse, I'm not using this for time lapse. I might try it one day. Now, night shoot mode, let's just see what the options are. Auto or more colour. You'll have to read the instructions for the difference. I'll leave it on auto for now. I need to read the instructions more. Okay, so I've done that. Now, what happens next? Let's click the down button. There we go, then we get to the next. In the previous camera, you had to go across to get to the next menu. This seems to be, you just keep going down, and it doesn't have a screen number, so this would be like screen 2, if you see what I mean, the second. So, infrared LED auto. Let's click on OK. What's the options? Automatic, medium, low or off. Well, if you switch that off, then you're not going to get any recordings at night. I'm going to leave that on auto again, so automatically detects when the LED light should be fired. Low battery at night. No LED. So if your batteries are really low, about to run out, it can simply not use the infrared lights, or you can set it so it just simply doesn't record. I'm going to leave it on the default setting of no infrared LED. So you might just about get something you can detect on the video, but I doubt it. You really do need infrared lights. Right, monitoring period. Now this is where you set when you want the camera to operate. You can either have it off so that it records 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or you can set it to only record at certain times. So say you want it to record from whenever sunset is where you are. So in England it gets dark about 6 PM at the moment, and then it'll be light by 6 AM. So you could set it to record just those times and then stop recording. If you're definitely after stuff at night, like badgers or foxes, and then maybe you don't want birds in the daytime. So this is where you can select it. Just to give you a demo, I'll do on. So I'm just using the up and down buttons or OK to select everything. So monitoring period on, and then timer start. Now click on OK, and then this is where you detect what. This is where you put in what time you want to start. So it's currently 6:36 PM where I am. So I'm going to go 6, and then use the across button to go there, and then let's go down. I'll do it to record from 6:40 PM. Okay, click on OK, and then I want it, and then you go down to the next one, timer 1 stop. Click on OK. Now I want this to stop recording. I'm going to put about, because this is the first time I'm doing this, I'm actually going to set it for, oh shit, I pressed the wrong thing. Let's click on OK. I didn't want it 2 o'clock. I'm going to leave it recording to 1 o'clock, just so I can get some stuff in the morning in my garden on the test, just because I need to see what's going on, how this camera works. I need to check the quality of the video, so I'll leave it to 1 o'clock and then it'll go off. So click on OK. Then press the down button to see what the next options are. Right, and then you can set up another time if you want. So maybe you wanted to record from 3 to 4 PM, for example, or 3 to 5:30 for some reason. So you've got the option to set up a second recording if you want to. I'll leave those blank because I'm not going to do them. Side setup is on. Now obviously you can switch these off. I'll leave that as on. And just to show you what that means, you can have these sensors off. So that where I'm pointing with my finger, let me just move out so I've got more light on the screen. That there is a sensor, so anything moving in front of the camera would be triggered and you get a recording. The fact that you've got these two pointing to the side means that if, say my hand is a mouse, the one that's pointing to the side would see the animal at the side and start recording even though it's at the side of the camera. So by the time the animal gets right in front of the screen, you're already recording and you've got it. So it's brilliant to have sensors angled to the side, because I say you end up getting more recordings. So I would leave the side sensors on. Frequency, I don't know what that's all about. Let me just see what's the options. You can have 50 Hertz or 60 Hertz. I'll leave it on 60 Hertz. I've no idea what that's all about. And we're back round again. We've gone back round to the start, which is setting up the mode. So that's it. Oh, I see. There are. How do you get to those then? There's 4 options up there. How do you get to those? Let's see if I press up what happens. No, I've gone back to there. I don't understand how you get. How do you get to those? Is there a way to get to those other options up there? I'm just going around in circles, aren't I? How do you get to... Are there other options up there? I don't know. It's definitely a different layout in the menu to the previous cameras I've had. So I believe I've set it up now. Let's go through it one more time through the menu. So you've set the start time and stop time. So in theory it's actually starting to do recordings now. Yeah, so that is it. But I don't know whether there's a way to get to... If those buttons up there, those 4 symbols up there do anything. I don't see how you'd get to those. Let me click menu again. Oh, I've now got a colour picture on the back of the screen. Oh, and I haven't set the time. So how do I set the time? Aha, so there is more to do, but how do I get to those options? Let's get to menu again. That is interesting. How on earth do you do that? Let's have a look. Yeah, so from that, by doing that, I can't get to those other screens. How do I get to those other screens? Now, what's this then? Mode. Let's click that mode button. No. Interesting. There's got to be a way to set the time on this, but how? And I'm the one that's supposed to be showing you how to set this up. Let's just have a look in the instructions then, because that's not too easy to understand. Right, so you get this little paper manual, 34 pages in English. Okay, so I've gone through this. Tell you what's in the package. Let's have a look. How to start. I've done the start. They tell you about the buttons. Let's have a look. Okay. Let's have a look. Setup. Right, setup. Under this mode, the camera screen is on. You can manually record video. Blah blah blah. So these are the things I've just gone through. We've gone through these options here. We've done the monitoring period. We've done the night shoot. Ah, okay. Well, they're showing you. So the next image along the top would be to get to that. But how? How do you get to that setting up there? And then they're saying the next option would be the video symbol. The third button along the top would be how you set the resolution. Yeah, I need to do all of that, don't I? And set the video length. How do I get to that? I don't understand. Let's see if I hold mode down, hold menu down for longer. Has that done something? No. Let's menu again. Oh, help me, folks. How do you get... See, it doesn't explain how to do that, does it? There's no explanation. How do I get to there? How? You'd think maybe going up would get you up to there. It doesn't do that. So how? Let me hold down menu and see what happens. I'm holding menu down for a few seconds. No, that's not doing anything. Houston, we have a problem. Let me switch it off. Goodbye. And that's exactly the same music that's on the Campark video. So, as I said, I presume this is made in the same factory that they make Campark branded trail cameras. As I say, it's almost exactly the same size and shape. So, again, menu. Now, maybe I need to be on the last screen to hop across to... Now, I think frequency was the last thing, wasn't it? Yeah, so let's go back up. So frequency is the last thing in that option. Let's see if I then press across, see what happens. There we go, there we go. So once you're on the last option on that on the first menu, then you can get across to the second symbol. So image size. Oh, that is annoying and not intuitive. Right. So let's see what the options are. Click on OK. Daytime or nighttime. Let's have a look what that says. Let's go back to this. Image size. Right. So in daytime, these are your options. Oh, for photos, I presume. So M, I presume, means megapixels. Yeah, and then in nighttime it's a much smaller number of megapixels. So I'll leave it on daytime. I'm not going to be using photos specifically anyway, so I'll click OK. But that's how you would go through the options and change how many megapixels. More megapixels, like the higher quality the picture. So I'll click on OK to get rid of that again. And I'll click on OK to get rid of that. Ugh, it does not let me get out of that, so let's click menu. How do I get out of that? Click menu again. Right, okay. And then go down. That's how you select how many pictures you want it to take. So you might want it to take, say, 5 photos every time it goes off, or 10, or whatever. Let's see what the options are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. 10 is the most photos it can take in one burst. I'll leave it on 10, even though I'm not using it for photos. And then for shutter speed, let's see what the options are. So that's how quickly you want the shutter to go off. So you've got 1/15, 120, 130. There are your options. You've got 3 options. I'll leave it on what it is. Okay, so that's that. Now how do I get out of that? Do I go across? Yes, go across. That's how you get to the video option. Right, so resolution. Let's have a look. Click on OK. What are we talking about? Why has it gone to resolution? Let's go have a look. So resolution. Let's click on a daytime. Okay, so in the daytime, I want the highest quality setting, which is going to be 4K, 30 frames per second, is what I believe. I don't know what the P stands for. Well, maybe that's pictures, but 4K is going to be 30, equivalent to taking 30 photos a second. Sorry, I'm getting all tongue-tied. Or you can switch it down to these other options. 1080p would give you 60 photos a second. And it's even though it's video, I'm just trying to explain. A video is basically lots of photos taken one after the other. And the lowest quality is 360. That would be pretty crap. So I'm going to leave it on 4K. Click on OK. And then nighttime. Click on OK. Okay, so you can set it twice. So nighttime. Default is 1080p, 30 frames a second. Select the required video resolution. Higher resolution produces higher quality videos, but results in larger files requiring more space on a memory card. Well, again, I want the highest quality I can have, so let's just show you. The lowest quality is going to be 360. 720 would probably be okay, but I'm going to leave it on 1080p for nighttime quality. That's the best you can get at nighttime. There is no 4K option for nighttime. Oh shit. Sorry, I need to select that. Okay, so that's that. Yep, so now I'm going to do menu to get out of that, menu to get out of that. Right, now video length. How long do you want your videos to be? Let's see what the options are. Let's see what the shortest video can be. Yeah, so the shortest video is going to be 5 seconds. The longest is 3 minutes, which is 180 seconds. Can you see that? It's hard to film this colour. 5 seconds or 180. Now, for most people, a 3 minute long video is going to be too long. I seem to like videos that are about a minute long. That tends to be, you normally get what you want within the first 60 seconds on a video, and sometimes it's even quicker than that. Sometimes, you know, whatever you're filming is worth carrying on filming, so in that case you simply carry on with the next recording after 5 seconds, as you already said. So I'm going to set this up to record 60-second long videos. That tends to be long enough. Okay, then click OK. Next option, record audio. Now you can switch the audio off if you want. I don't know why you would not want audio on a video, so I'm going to leave it as on, but you can switch it off. And I should say, last Campark branded trail camera I used, the sound quality wasn't very good. Even though it was a 4K model, they seem to have used a cheap microphone on it. Worse than on their 1296p models, which doesn't make any sense. You think you're buying a better camera, it would have a better microphone, but they don't. They kind of put better lens on it, but cheaper microphone, so it doesn't make sense. So hopefully the sound quality will be okay on this. So record audio, that's the only options on that screen. Okay, and then we need to go to the last option on that screen to get across. Then again, press the right button, and now you can see it's highlighted the fourth button there, the cog. So language, English, that's what I want. I'll leave it. Let's just show you what the options are. English, French, Dutch, Polish, Danish, blah blah blah, Slovenian, Dutch, Spanish, Portuguese. My god, there's quite a few options, and I don't know what those two are. That's probably Chinese, and then that's Japanese or something like that. So English, press OK. Default setting, click OK. Let's see what this says. Return menu settings to defaults. No, do not. Don't press OK. That would wipe out all those settings I've just set up. But that would be, if you went to OK and did that, that's how you'd wipe it out. So I'm going to press OK to cancel that. Format, I'm going to format the card now, even though I've already done it. And that will delete all the data on the card. You have to do that before you first use the card. I once made a mistake of setting up a trail camera somewhere. Went back about a week later, and obviously it recorded absolutely nothing because the card hadn't been formatted. It can't record if you haven't formatted the card. So for God's sake, remember to format the card before you use the camera, and whatever you do, make sure you back up any videos and photos that are on the card before you go and format it, if there was anything else on it. Right, now date time, this is what I want to do. Click OK. 2023, presumably that's going to be month on this particular thing. Let's have a look. What are my options? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, so we're in March. Oh, I just need to check what today's date is. Hold on, switch my computer on, and while I'm switching my computer on, I'll only be a few seconds, folks, if I can get it to come back on. I'm going to I'll open up a website that's called time.is. Okay, and that'll tell me exactly what time it is to set the time. So it is Friday the 17th of March. So again, you use the up down buttons to go up or down on the numbers. So I want 17th, that's good. Click OK. Oh no, click OK to get back to that. So use the across button. So 2023 March 17, go across to get down. See, some of these options are not what you think. You wouldn't think you'd press across to go down, would you? But you do. Anyway, and then this is where you set the time. So it's now 1800, which is 6 PM, so that, and then go across. It's 52:30, so I'm going to set it for 53, which is quicker to get to. Let's go up. I'll try and get it to 53 as quick as I can. Come on. You see, if you just hold the button down, it'll go through quickly. 53, go across. I've got about 10 seconds to get it where I want it. There we go. Right, now I'm just going by this count here. As you can see, I've got 4 seconds. Press OK now. Okay, so I've now set the date and time. And then go down if you want to set the time format. 24 hours is the default. You can set it as a 12-hour clock if you want. So 11 PM would say 11 PM, but on the 24-hour clock it would say 2300, if you see what I mean. So 24-hour clock is what I want. Click OK. I think that's the last thing on that screen. Let's go down. Oh no, there's more options. Okay, date stamp on. So that would mean each video will have the date stamped on the bottom of it, so you can see the details. You can have that off if you want, but I think it's a great idea to actually put the time and date stamped onto your video, because then at least you know exactly when they're recorded. So I'll leave that as on and press OK. Beep sound, as you can tell, is on. Every time you press a button on the camera while you're setting up, you get a beep. It's useful, at least you know you've pressed the button. You can switch off if you want to. Camera name. Default is, they're calling it TC06. The point of having different names for your cameras, for me example, sometimes I've got 5 or 6 set up in the field, and when you get home it can be confusing to know what you filmed on which camera, depending on where you set it. But for the moment I'm going to leave that as it is, but you can change that to whatever you want. So you might call it camera 1, camera 2, or field camera, woodland camera, whatever. And then you obviously use these buttons here to do that. Let's just see if I can. Actually, I don't really want to change it, but no, I'm going to leave that. I'm just going to get out of there. I don't want to do that. Password setting. You can set up a password on this, so if somebody were to steal your camera, if they didn't know the password, they wouldn't be able to use it really. So you can set up a password on it. Again, that's something I don't usually bother to do, just in case I go and forget the password while I'm out and about and I want to do something on the camera. But you can do that. Next, Bluetooth is on. I'm going to switch that off. I don't use Bluetooth. Where I set these up, I'm nowhere near any Wi-Fi, so it wouldn't be any use to me. And I don't have... There's an app you can get for this particular trail camera. I haven't got it yet. I might get it when I get a new camera, new phone soon, but for the moment I don't need it, so I'm going to switch that off. That might save a little bit of battery in case it's searching for Wi-Fi. And then here's where you would set up your Wi-Fi information. Let's just click on OK, see what they show you. So you would have to use the symbols there to type that in. I'm just going to click on OK to get rid of that. Set up a password if you want. Wi-Fi. Let's just see what that's all about. That's how you can select how many minutes you want that to last. To switch the Wi-Fi off once you're done using it. Auto power off. Let me just check what this says here. Where are we? Auto power off. 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes. If there's no operation more than the selected time, then the camera will turn off automatically in setup. Oh, okay, so whilst you're setting this up, if you don't do anything for a few minutes, it will switch off to save battery. 3 minutes, I'm going to leave it on 3 minutes because I do want it to switch off. If I forget to do something and leave the camera open, you're using a tiny amount of battery all the time, so I'm going to click on OK. Backlight. What are your options? 1, 3 or 5 minutes. Backlight, let's have a look what this says. 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. The LCD monitor would automatically turn off after the setting time. Okay, so this screen here again can be set to switch off after a few minutes if you haven't done something. I'm going to leave it on 5 minutes just in case because sometimes you start doing a setting on this and then you need to go and do something else for a minute, come back to the camera, and you don't want it to keep switching off. It'll drive you mad. So I'll leave it on backlight 5 minutes. Go down, and then version, let's have a look. So that's the exact model of the camera I've got. It's the TC06, and then that particular model number. Should you ever need support, you would tell them the exact model number you've got there. Click on OK, and then firmware update. No update file. I did once have to update the firmware. The firmware is the software that runs the camera. I did once have to update the firmware on a Campark 4K camera, and it was a pain in the ass, but I did manage to do it to try and fix the sound problem on the camera. I think it made it slightly better, so it's a bit of a palaver. Hopefully you won't ever have to do that, but it is possible. So there you go, that's the entire setup. So where we're on the last screen, I'm just going to quickly go through it. So you've done all these settings. Okay, obviously there's loads of options I haven't done. I haven't set up the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth because I don't use them. So that's it, you've gone through all those. Now Oh, I'm not on the last screen of that, am I? So I can't go. Let me see if I do. If I go across. Oh, yeah. If I've gone across, I've gone back to the first button up there. So I'm now on the mode setting. So that's it. That's now set up. It's taken me 30 minutes to record that for you. Hopefully that's going to be of use to you, because I know setting up these cameras can be absolutely baffling for some people. Have a look through the instruction manual. You're not going to understand everything. Nobody does. There's so many options, like connecting the Bluetooth. Are you really going to use that? Are you really going to use the app on your mobile phone to control the camera? I don't see why you would do that ever. And the thing is, I've read somewhere, I think most of these cameras, you need to be within 15 meters of these cameras anyway to use the app. So if you're only 15 meters away from the camera, why not just do it manually instead of trying to do it on your phone? So anyway, there's information about how to set up the Wi-Fi, app information. I don't have the app, as I said, because I need a new phone. My phone's driving me nuts at the moment. They tell you how to connect it to your computer. I don't normally connect these to my computer. What I normally do, once I'm done wherever I am, I take the SD card out and bring the SD card home, and then I put the SD card into my computer using something like this, a little SD card reader. You slot it into there. These are only about £2 on Amazon. Integral is a good brand. So you stick the SD card into the side of that, and then you stick that into your computer, such as up there, you see what I mean? So it would go like that, and the SD card would be stuck in the side of this. That's how I do it. And then that's how you transfer the videos and photos onto your computer, and then obviously you label them once you've watched them, understand what they are. Here's a little bit of technical specs for you. I think I've already gone over just about everything. Trigger, oh, that tells you sensor angle is 120 degrees, which is pretty good. And they say trigger distance up to 20 meters. Now, in reality, where I set up my cameras, most times, to get a good quality picture of, say, a deer or a badger or a fox, it needs to be within about the first 3 or 4 meters of the camera, to be perfectly honest. Anything further away than that, and there's just not enough light being thrown out by the cameras to get very good quality footage. So although they say it can be triggered by something 20 meters away, I think that's highly unlikely. Test it yourself. Go and wander around in your garden in front of the camera and see what it records before you go and put it in woodland or something. Oh, here we go. The infrared uses 850 nanometer LEDs, and they say the range is 20 meters. Oh, I need to switch this off or I can waste all the battery. So you've done all the setup work. Let's click menu. Let's just check time and date is now correct. Yes, to the nearest second I've got that right. Batteries now say 65%. Apparently I've used 10% of the batteries just by setting up for 30 minutes. And then what you do, don't forget, you moved that switch all the way across. You're on the setup switch. You've gone from off to setup. Now, once you're all set up, switch that across to on. Oh, here we go. Auto record ready. And there you go. It gives you a countdown in a second. Let's see what happens. So now it's ready to record. And then you want to close up the camera, close up the buckles on it. Make sure you do close those properly. You don't want to get rain inside the camera. But like that, I've left cameras outside for months and they still work after rain, sleet, snow, wind. As long as you've got that buckled up properly, it should be waterproof. Okay, and then obviously, you know, you want to go and strap that to a tree and lock it to a tree. I'm going to put this in my back garden, just to show you. Now, to human eyes, I can see 2 red lights there. On the camcorder, it makes it look like it's a purple glow. The camcorder can see that light better. Now, that's weird. I would have thought I've got a lot more. Most other cameras I've got loads of different LED lights. This, it just seems to have 2 big ones, which is odd to me. I would have thought, let me just switch some lights off, see if it triggers more to come on. Let me put some lights off where I hold them. Give me a second, folks. I'm going to switch all the lights off in the room I'm in. See if that triggers any more. I would have thought there's more than 2 lights on this camera. Nope, that's very strange. So unless that's 2 really powerful LEDs, that is weird. I'll have to ask them. That's something I didn't think of asking. No, it's gone off again. So it's making a recording of me right now as I'm filming, but it appears to have only 2 LED lights, which is very odd. Like I say, most of the other cameras I've got that do night recording, they've got about, I don't know, 25, 30 LEDs. So why is there only 2? I'll have to ask the company that. Alright, let's put some light on so I can finish this video off. So, as I explained, camera's going to set you back £100, battery's going to set you back about £24–25, SD card's going to set you back about another £15. Then on top of that, you're probably going to need a lock if you're going to leave it anywhere. A lock about another £25–30. That's about it. And then when you do set them up somewhere, it's a good idea to disguise them. Use some fake ivy or stick some ivy or other plants around this. Otherwise it just looks like a box on the side of a tree. The thing is, on the side, there's no sensors on the side, so you can completely cover that with, you know, branches, trees, moss, whatever. The top, again, you can cover that up. It's the front that's the annoying thing. You can't put anything in front of it. So if you had, say you put a stick to the side where my hand is and the stick came out the front, the light coming out of here is going to hit that and bounce back, and then you get this horribly too bright video. So you can't have anything in front of the camera, and that's the thing that makes it obvious. You know, a human can see this strapped to the side of a tree. To animals it doesn't matter, but if you're worried about humans finding your camera and stealing it or damaging it, that's the problem. There's no way to disguise excuse me while I choke to death. There's no way to disguise the front of these, really. Jesus. Right, I've been talking enough, I'm choking to death. So there you go, hope that's been of use to you. Click like if you like this, subscribe to me. If you click on playlist, then click on creative playlist, you can find all my other videos. I do have a playlist for trail cameras. Jesus Christ. I'll probably make a new playlist for trail camera footage 2023, for example, and I'll put the new footage onto that. Have a look through my videos anyway. I've got hundreds of videos of badgers. I film those regularly. I've got lots of videos of foxes, deer. Please have a look through. Also, my YouTube account is mostly aviation and wildlife stuff, so have a good look through. Obviously, if you've got any comments, leave me a comment. Oh, and just to show you there, that you can attach these to a tripod with that thread there, so you can do that. And as I've said, they give you a strap to strap it to a tree through that hole there, and that hole up the top is for Python locks to lock it to a tree. Right, I really am going to shut up now. So there you go. Hopefully that's been of use to you. These are the instructions, just to show you the last few pages of this. Oh, and there's an email address to contact them if you need support, tc@umail.com. I am going to contact them to ask about why there's only 2 LED lights on this. Okay, so there you go. Right, thank you very much for watching, folks. Bye bye.